Hello. Today we have quite the doozy. Yesterday we took a little bit of a break from the depravity, but today we're right back into it, and we're talking about one of the most polarizing figures in professional wrestling history. We're talking about, in Jim Ross's words, a miserable, no good piece of shit, or Bob Sweetan. And I can't lie, after doing a little bit of research on the dude, you can see why Jim Ross called him that. Dude, there's too many cases of these guys from the 80s that are doing things to their own daughters. We've talked about Bug Zumhoff, and we've talked about Grizzly Smith, and now we're talking about Bob Sweetan, and we're only really scratching the surface. There are more than likely plenty of other professional wrestlers out there during that time that were doing similar actions. But without further ado, let's go ahead, rip it off, and let's lock into this case, and let's talk about the infamous Bob Sweetan for a bit. It feels like it's been so long since we've been able to go back to our roots and, read the cage match comment section, but I got one for you. It's from the big homie Josh Drake, and basically he said, "What do you expect me to say? He's a pedophile. A decent wrestler, I might add, but just like the below poster stated, it doesn't make up for the acts he committed against his daughter." Alright, that's it. Video's done. We talked about all the things we need to talk about. Video's over. I'm just playing shoddy. You know we gonna dive right in. I'm not gonna lie, I just got a really good song come on my playlist while I'm recording this video, so I'm gonna be listening to Stars by JID while I'm talking about somebody abused their daughter. I'm ruining the song for myself, but it's all for the clout, man. It's all for the content. So basically, in 1990, the big Bob Sweetan was convicted of the sexual assault of his own daughter. Her name was Candace. Not only did he sexually abuse his own daughter, he also abandoned his family and never paid child support. He was a miserable deadbeat that projected all of his insecurities and frustrations on other people. He was a huge backstage bully and just overall a very terrible human being and somebody you just didn't want to be around. Jim Ross literally said he hated being around him. He hated any second he was around him. His ex-wife, which he abandoned, Rebecca, basically said that he fried his brain with drugs, deserted his family, his kids, abused them emotionally, physically, sexually, and mentally. So basically, he's just the worst father ever. Man, it just feels like every video we do like this is just trying to find the worst professional wrestler that's ever existed while simultaneously finding a new contender for worst father ever. It's like these wrestlers are competing with each other to see who can be just the worst father. The reason why he deserted his family when he did, at least what I'm getting at here, is because he was having an affair with a quote-unquote ring rat who was also a drug dealer. So he was basically living a triple life. He was a professional wrestler, had his character in professional wrestling, was having an affair, and then also had his family life where he was abusing everybody emotionally, physically, sexually, and mentally. And I'm out here struggling living one life. How are folks out here having double, triple, quadruple, a million lives? I don't get it. Look, cheating on your wife is one thing. Cheating on your family, living another life, that's one thing. But not being man enough to own up to it and just straight up deserting your family is crazy. Look, if the abuse of his own daughter wasn't good enough for you, if that wasn't enough to tell you the type of man this guy was, that should take the cake. Not to mention, he just flat out didn't pay child support, and whenever he stopped checking with police in about 2000, he got deported back to his native Canada. Also, completely unrelated, he apparently played in the Canadian Football League. That's something. But back to the bad stuff. In interviews, JR goes in depth about the things that Bob Sweetan did behind the scenes, and basically he would talk about making little girls purr. I cannot believe that is a sentence that just came out of my mouth. I think I need to go wash my mouth out with soap. But this was a miserable piece of trash that was very open about the things he did, and the boys in the back knew about everything. So no, you can't use the excuse that nobody knew. Everybody knew, gang. He was a terrible human being. He openly admitted to being a sexual abuser and openly admitted to taking the innocence of plenty of children. Oh, but he was a good wrestler. I do not care. Shut up. There's always that one group of people that's going to try to defend the worst of the worst people, and I don't get it. I don't understand what you're getting out of that. I don't care if he was a part of your childhood, bro. He was killing other people's childhoods. Oh, and also a little bit of tidbit of knowledge to add to the situation here. He was also apparently friends with Grizzly Smith, which makes so much sense. Those two pieces of human waste were just like two peas in a pod, gang. They were the same exact human being, damn near. Outside of his little pedophile friend, he was basically a loner and didn't get along with anybody, and how could you? You were not only just a terrible human being, but you just weren't fun to hang around. You were more miserable than the average Twitter nerd when Roxanne Perez got a boyfriend. Like, I kid you not, I'm reading everywhere, I'm doing a bunch of research, like I'm locked in trying to find anybody that has any positive opinion of this guy, but everybody hates him. Rightfully so, bro. I would go and piss on his grave if I could. Let me clear that up, because all the old heads say that Bob Sweetan was a great wrestler, but what I mean is that nobody liked him as a human being. Nobody online has a good thing to say about Robert Carson. And this loser had the nickname of Mr. Piledriver because he used to do a piledriver for his finisher. But that piledriver couldn't stop Danny Hodge from beating the absolute hell out of him backstage and damn near torturing him, gang. And Danny Hodge was a legitimate tough guy. That was not somebody you wanted to just make angry, and I guess Bob Sweetan just crossed that line. He apparently beat him up because he was just such a miserable, insufferable bully backstage and gave everybody a hard time. People like Jake Roberts and Jim Duggan have since then said that he was just not a nice guy and was one of the worst people in the wrestling business. And that was more so just talking about who he was as a human being backstage. That wasn't even adding into the equation all the stuff he was doing to, underage individuals. And he was only caught and charged for what he was doing to his daughter, and that was 5 years after he had already retired from professional wrestling. So nobody truly knows how many lives were negatively affected by this guy, Bob Sweetan. Sweetan was also an open, hard drug user. He did everything known to God's green earth. He was trying everything, and he was tweaking out on anything he could find. He quote-unquote lived life to the fullest, but last time I checked, living life to the fullest doesn't really include hurting children. Although I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. And if you guys remember, a little bit earlier in the video, we talked about that affair we had, and that's where a lot of this whole drug addiction started, because the girl he had the affair with was a drug dealer. This piece of shit left his wife to work 12-hour work days just to provide for the children that he brought into the world. And I'm sorry for bouncing around the story, but we're gonna fast forward to, I believe, 1992, when his son Christopher turned 18. I'm reading this article, and it's kind of baffling me because around this time, I believe he was living in some town that I can't say. I'm not even going to lie. He was living in a town that I can't even pronounce. But he wanted to take responsibility, and he wanted to take initiative with a couple other of his siblings. Not Candace, the one he abused, but he wanted to take initiative and see his father, Bob, apologize to Candace, as well as the rest of the family for abandoning them. And here's the big money trivia question. Did this deadbeat degenerate apologize? No. He blamed the mother. He blamed Rebecca for this entire situation, basically saying she made him leave. I was trying to be better about it, but we're back to that situation where I'm like a cartoon character with the steam coming out of his ears. I am angry. What happened to Shame, bro? What happened to Shame? I understand drugs and all that, but I don't care I don't care, bro. You have to at least be man enough to be able to apologize. Just because you're battling an addiction doesn't make you unable to apologize or take responsibility for your actions. But no, this narcissist decided he was gonna play the victim card like they always do. As a human being, he was a straight up waste of oxygen. Ooh, let a doofus old head. Let somebody defend this guy. Oh, I'm ready to crash, gang. I don't understand. I don't get how a human being can do something so damaging to their own creation. That's your daughter, bro. You have to have some sense to not do that. Where is the line drawn? How are you so mentally twisted that you don't have boundaries? You cross everything. Oh my god. I'm a broken fucking record, dude. That's your daughter. What a loser, bro. Actually, dude. You ruined the family that you built because you were a miserable psychopath that couldn't keep it in his pants. Whether it was with your daughter or with a drug dealer who you had an affair with. Dude. I'm gonna stop talking about this fucking guy before I lose my mind and before I just get super angry and so much steam comes out of my ears that my head explodes. I'm gonna end the video here. I appreciate you guys for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as you could enjoy these types of things. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribed, if I earned it, of course. We're locked in on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we're actually really close to it, so I would appreciate it if you did subscribe. If you're on the fence about it and you need a little bit of motivation to maybe hit that red button, allow my friends to attempt to persuade you into doing so.
Please like and subscribe to wake up Noah.
Please like and subscribe.
Please, I need this.
I beg for you. I beg you.
My
My
mom is
life
kind
is
of
on the
old.
line. Please
Please,
subscribe.
I'm Bronson and 5 years old, and when it's 5 years, and I am a degenerate.
Wow, guys, so thought-provoking, so motivational, so inspirational. But anyways, join the Discord server right now. Follow me on Twitter right now. Those links are in the description as well as the pinned comment. Those are necessities. You are forced to do so. But anyways, I appreciate you guys again for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all stay safe. God bless.